I ended up broken down, in the dark, in the snow, in freezing temperatures. Don't be like me. Learn from my mistakes so you never have to end up like this. If someone had told me that I was going to break 5 axle shafts in the matter of 8 months, I straight up wouldn't have believed them, or I would have said, well, that guy probably shouldn't be off-roading, or he's doing something seriously wrong. It's never the wisest or safest idea to head out on your own or with your girlfriend in one truck, in the snow, in the winter. But I seem to often put us in these precarious situations. Sometimes for the sake of making content, and sometimes for just the sake of having a good time. It was clear as soon as we got on the trail that this was going to be a hard mission. The terrain was terrible, there was no traction in the snow, and I had to take multiple runs just to get a few feet further down the trail. This whole ridge that we're on right now is north facing, so it hasn't seen any sunlight in the 3 weeks that we've had snow, so the snow is just crusty and compact, and as you can see, there's just zero traction. Hopefully that's the last of it we're about to see. The whole objective was this mission was to get to this epic cabin that we'd stayed at before. We had a generator loaded up, we had all our camping gear, food. We were prepared to have a good time.
Hey!
If you're not familiar with these older Toyota trucks, there's one significant weak point when you start running 37-inch or larger tires. That weak point is the burr fields and axle shafts. You gotta remember, this truck was meant for 31-inch tires, and I've got 37-inch tires on there and a lot of gearing. The fact that this truck has held up to almost 40,000 kilometers of road driving and 50 wheeling trips is amazing in itself. But it's about to show me its last. Or last for a while anyway. There were many points in this attempt to get to this cabin that we should have turned around. But we kept trying. I was confident that we were going to be able to make it. So confident, in fact, that I kept trying and trying and trying until eventually something broke. Snow wheeling isn't usually an experience when you break a lot of parts. The worst thing that could happen is maybe you dent your body panel, pop a tire off the bead, or have to turn around because you got stuck. I suspect there was some damage to my burr field from our previous wheeling trip in this video, and if you keep a close eye on the driver's side tire, you'll see and hear where everything goes wrong. So we are in the middle of nowhere, by ourselves of course. Pretty remote, and pretty sure we just broke a burr field.
So it's going to be a midnight axle swap, possibly sleep on the trail. I'm not sure what's going to happen now.
A broken burr field meant that I no longer had four-wheel drive and that there were pieces of metal inside my axle shaft damaging other parts. The only way out of this situation is to remove or replace the broken axle and burr field. Otherwise, we remain completely stranded. Because if those broken pieces of metal bind up, I will lose steering, and that could be catastrophic. What happened next is I had to very carefully back down the trail in two-wheel drive so I could get the truck onto a flat spot, jack it up, take the wheel off, and hopefully figure out how to get this burr field out and replace it. I didn't have all my tools on me, unfortunately, only equipped with a little bit of know-how on how to do this job. And unfortunately, it was super cold. Temperatures were dropping fast, so was light, and my motivation was probably at an all-time low, knowing that it was very unlikely we were going to be able to make it to this cabin.
What were you saying?
Oh, the time for upgraded axle shafts was about 2 years ago. I just learned really slowly. I just couldn't get the little cone washers out. I don't have a brass draft with me, which is usually how you kind of pop those guys out. So we're doing it the bearing way. Oh yeah, I think the cage broke, which just seems to be what always happens with me. Good evening on Toyota World Runners. Good midnight Burfield replacement. Coming to you live from the middle of nowhere in the snow.
Look at the camera and show me your burr. Mechanic due to adversity.
The only way to solve this problem so it never happens again is to do what I should have done 2 years ago and upgrade my burr field and axle shafts to chromoly, which are basically high-density strengthened steel components that drastically improve the strength and longevity of these parts. You would think after doing this job 3 times on the trail, I would wise up and purchase these parts. But apparently, I wasn't quite done suffering yet.